something I know a lot of you have been asking for.
It's Royale.
At E3 2018, Firestorm was announced, this strange combination of woos and boos, a sentiment that still rings true in the Battlefield community today. Since Firestorm's release, DICE's handling of it has been lackluster to say the least, with DICE's communication being a mixture of mostly silent or completely misleading. In this video, I'll be chronicling Firestorm's life so far, and some of DICE's most egregious mistakes and failures. Right now it feels like Firestorm is DICE's unwanted child from a previously abusive relationship, but Firestorm is a good kid, he just needs the right love and support, damn it. At first, things look good. The excellent trailer for Firestorm captured what many wanted to see from a Battle Royale with the Battlefield flavour attached, and people were generally excited. Despite the detractors, the reception seemed mostly warm on release, with most being pleasantly surprised by how much they were enjoying Battlefield's take on the Battle Royale genre. Most of the criticism was fairly levied at the looting system, which everyone knew wasn't up to scratch, but we were quickly assured this was being looked at. Blake Jorgensen, the CFO of EA, even said that more than 1 million people returned to Battlefield 5 following the release of Firestorm, and that the overall player count had increased by 60%. Things weren't looking too bad, and fans were promised that Firestorm would continue to expand after launch. Things quickly went downhill though. April should have been a big month for the newly released Firestorm, but instead it was mostly a disaster. 2 weeks after release, Duos was enabled for 4 days between April 11th to April 15th, and players were told there's a chance it may become permanent. Following this, the player base's reaction to Duos was hugely positive, and fan demand led to Duos being enabled again on April 19th, only for it to be re-disabled again on May 9th due to more apparent interest in squads. The player base was not happy, but fans were reassured that Duos could potentially return, however it never has. Once again, fans were questioning whether Firestorm could really thrive if the player base was not big enough to even sustain Duos a month after release. Media outlets jumped on the story like sharks to blood, reporting on the, and I quote, lack of interest. It had been just over a month, and by removing Duos so quickly, DICE had sent out a message that Firestorm was already struggling. Ironically, the queue timers have only gotten longer since the removal of Duos. During this period, we also saw Criterion officially leaving Firestorm in DICE's hands, a decision that many will question as DICE had already been struggling to deliver timely content updates and bug fixes to Battlefield 5. On May 21st, Firestorm was updated with 3 new locations: Watchtowers, the Blue Forest, and the excavation site. However, with the issues of the player base looming, it was hard for fans to get excited, and most continued to ask if there was a plan to bring in more players. Those who asked were told to wait until EA Play, and the EA Play would give us a good look at the direction DICE are moving with Firestorm. Fans were further told that there's plenty coming, and that there was a full development plan for Firestorm's long-term support. Can you guess what was revealed for Firestorm at EA Play? Nothing. After the show was wrapped up, we were told Firestorm would have more updates online, and that was it. Nothing to address players' concerns, and nothing about the future longevity of Firestorm. But we were getting a big dome, which is actually a recreation of the structure DICE throws user complaints in. Funnily enough, the dome was actually replacing the excavation site, which was only added a month prior. And working on an area that would only be in the game for a month is just peak 2019 DICE. Along with the dome announcement, DICE claimed we would be getting regular Firestorm updates, and we were told squad respawn and a new looting system would be arriving in Chapter 4. Fans clamouring for this update went largely ignored until Chapter 4 had all but finished, and we were then told that these plans are presently on hold and are being re-evaluated. These proposed updates are universally praised by fans, so what the hell are they re-evaluating? Our happiness? Since the dome, the only update Firestorm had was a game-breaking bug that made picking up loot as much fun as picking up glass with your eyelids. Now, I know there are those of you out there that feel like Firestorm is to Battlefield what Yoko Ono is to the Beatles, but just hear me out. Firestorm fans are as passionate about wanting the best version of Battlefield 5 as you. We're Conquest players too, so what if our tastes don't align on this one genre? We can still work together in holding DICE to higher standards. It shouldn't be a case of DICE supporting either the base multiplayer or Firestorm. They are a huge AAA studio and should be capable of supporting both. I'm proposing we launch Operation Reignite Firestorm. I've already made a previous video about how I think DICE could fix Firestorm. If you're interested, I'll leave a link in the comments below. I'll also tweet this video with the caption hashtag Reignite Firestorm if you want to help me signal boost it right into DICE's face. DICE need to communicate better with us. They need to start answering our pleas for a free weekend, free week, or free forever version of Firestorm. They need to at least put in the smallest amount of effort to try and revitalise Firestorm. They owe the fans that much at least. After all, where are you going to get Battlefield moments like these? What's so in my head? Oh! God damn it, tank! Wow. Oh, fuck. Yes. Oh shit. Fuck! That was too easy, man.